you about the Hope events. We had our first one this past Saturday. It was Hope After the Death of a Child. It was Memorial Weekend, so we know a lot of people couldn't come out, but it was very good. It was very intense. It was very inspiring to hear their stories, and we had a great time. And so we're gearing up now for the next one. Make sure to go and look at our YouTube channel, Hope, and it's on different topics each month. So there are stories out there that you can look at, you can be inspired by their stories, and there will be set up on different topics so that if you have friends in your circle that need encouragement, you can go on our site and you can click and you can share for free, and you can share these stories with people. You can share them on your Facebook, you can share them to any platforms that you have that you want to share, that you want to encourage someone. We encourage you. These are local heroes here in Manchester, Tennessee. Some are in Murfreesboro and surrounding areas. These are not famous people, but they have just amazing stories. So please go check that out. Our next event will be on June 24th. It will be on the anniversary of the reversal of Roe v. Wade. And it will be from 5 to 7 at Manchester First Baptist Church again. And it will also be recorded. We're working on the getting the recordings edited. Hopefully that's going to work out. We're feeling our way through. We are using what is granted and gifted to us as far as technology. And so we are just using our phones and using what we have in-house. We are trying to do this free so that we can keep this free for everyone. So Hope After an Abortion is going to be the topic in June. And so we have different formats for that. There's different stories about an abortion. You have some people that didn't have an abortion that thought about it. You have some people who did have an abortion that regret it. You have some people that maybe were not given the option, like men, and that kind of thing. There's all kinds of stories. There's medical issues. There's rape. I met a lady the other week, and she decided to have her baby, who was the product of a rape, and he's now a teenager, and they're just fantastic friends. And she talked to God about, don't let me see the face of my rapist in my child, my son, and God answered that. So there's stories like that too. But I'm going to share my story with you. I'm going to be the first one to share and let you know kind of what we do at Beautifully Broken Counseling when it comes to abortion. We are not going to judge you for one thing, and we're not going to try to make you feel worse. We realize that you made a choice in a moment, and that you were probably lied to by the system, and that's a sad thing that's been going on, and I'll tell you more about that with my own story. And this is my miracle right here. This is Hannah. Say hey, Hannah.
Hello.
All right. She's not feeling really good, so she's not going to be on the video, but I'm going to tell you her story. All right. All right, you ready? All right, bye, baby. I love you. All right. So what happened was I was told for 20 years that I couldn't have any children. And so as a result, we just kind of went along our way, and we just thought, well, we'll just love other people's kids and just accept that God said no, and that's the way it is. And so when I turned 45, I thought my gallbladder was going out, but I found out that I was actually pregnant. It was a funny story that happened. My husband had been making jokes because we'd moved into a new house, and he was saying, I was sick and I was hurting, and I thought it was because I was doing a lot of vacuuming and moving and all these things. And he said, I think you're pregnant. And I said, you are absolutely cruel. You're cruel that you would say that. I can't get pregnant. And he drew some other people into it, and I was just mortified. I was embarrassed. I was really hurt. Honestly, I was hurt by him, and I thought, how can he be this cruel? And we'll find out later why. But so I thought, well, I will prove to him that I am not pregnant, and he will just stop that. So I got a test from the drugstore, and the drugstore, I got a 2-packer, and I also, I had struggled with infertility. I had bought these tests before and gone in even to a Hardee's to try to get those, get a positive, and I never did. I went to the bathroom at Hardee's or whatever gas station, and I would take them just hoping, and it never was. So I thought this would be the same. I'd get a 2-packer, and I would leave it on the bathroom for him in the morning. He would see that it says not pregnant. I stayed away from the ones with the lines. They're too confusing. But anyway, so at 11 o'clock at night, my plan was that I would take this test, and I would leave it on the bathroom. I would go to sleep, and then he would wake up, and he would see, I need to be quiet. This is hurtful. Well, what happened was it was positive. I didn't even have a gynecologist. I had nothing. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I took another one, and it was positive. So in the middle of the night, I'm screaming. I'm waking him up. I'm telling him that I just quit my job to go back to my master's degree. So those of you who think that your career is something that you need to consider first, let me tell you my story. I had just quit my job. I had given up my insurance. I had no insurance to have a high-risk pregnancy. And I was getting my master's degree to be a counselor. I was changing my career. I was in my program by about, 15 months, 18 months. And I was in there with all these young people, and I was the pregnant old lady in the class. And so after we got through that, we had to find someone that could verify it. So we went to a walk-in clinic, and there in this walk-in clinic, there was this great big massive man of a doctor. Oh, he was something. And he took the test. He did the same test I did, actually. And he said, congratulations, you're going to have a baby. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is impossible. We have not done anything. I am 45 years old. I'm in the middle of my master's program. We don't have any insurance. Well, what are we going to do? He said, honey, listen, my mama had me when she was 48. And then she went on to have another one. You're going to be just fine. Listen, God provides in the moment for what you need at the time. That was exactly what I needed to hear. Then I found a gynecologist. And I went to her, and she said, until I've actually done an ultrasound, I am almost positive this is not viable. And so don't get your hopes up. Well, sure enough, we did an ultrasound. We found out that it was viable. It was a viable pregnancy with a very good heartbeat. So here we are. I am 45. I am pregnant with no insurance, and I am changing my career. I'm going to be in my own practice. It's going to be my own. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And here I am about to enter into a stage that I thought I would never be in. So the doctor said, well, because of your age and because of everything, I'm sure you will fail the diabetic test. So I will give you the long one, even if you pass the short one. Well, I passed them both with flying colors, and she was shocked. So then we got insurance, but we were required to have ultrasounds every month. My doctor would not see me unless I went for something that's called genetics counseling. Genetics counseling is basically where they tell you the what ifs so that you can be ready should you choose an abortion. Now, I had waited 20 years, longed for a baby, and here I am pregnant, and they want to talk to me about a possible abortion. That was cruel. I thought that was so cruel. And my doctor would not take me back in until I went to this counseling, paid this $80, and signed this form, releasing her from any obligation. I did it. But the night before, let me tell you what happened. I had a dream. In this dream, I'm sitting in this office, and I'm having this conversation about them wanting to abort my baby, my surprise. And I'm with a nurse. And this nurse, she's in scrubs. She's got blonde hair. She's strong. She's able. She's capable. She's articulate. She's mighty. And I'm weeping. I'm just weeping in the dream. And she stood up to this person, and she said, you will not torture her with this. She is not going to give you permission to abort this child. This child is going to be something miraculous. This child is special. This child is unique. This child is sent by God. You will not. Now leave her alone and let her go. At that time, the Holy Spirit spoke to my heart in my dream. He said, "This is your daughter." Now, I don't know if she'll be a nurse, but God sent me that dream at just the right time. I'm sorry to cry, but my goodness, what a story we have. So we went to the genetics counseling, and I signed the paper. They just couldn't wait to talk about abortion. And here I am celebrating, and they want to talk about death. And they didn't care. So we went on. We were required to have a visual ultrasound every month to make sure everything was going okay. So we did. We had to pay out of pocket for everything. They almost don't even know how to handle it when you pay out of pocket. God took care of all the money that we needed. And so one day, I got a call after an ultrasound. And the lady was afraid and scared and panicked. And she said, "We found something very bad." She said she doesn't have a portion of her spine, her nose, and her lips. "You have to get back in here. We have to see what this is because this is very serious." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll turn around and I'll come right back. I'll come now." She goes, "No, we can't get you until next week." A lot of cruelty. So I had to sit with that possibility, because that was the ultimate thing that they were trying to convince me, is that if we find this to be true, that she's missing a portion of her spine, her lips, and her nose, then she needs to be aborted. Wait, 20 years. I remember sitting that week. I wrote a song for her that I would sing to her over and over. And I'm crying, but I'm going to sing it anyway because it's real short, because it was what held me on. It was, "Hannah, Hannah, most beautiful girl in the world. Hannah, Hannah, most beautiful girl in the world. She has beautiful eyes, beautiful lips, beautiful nose, even beautiful toes. Hannah, Hannah, most beautiful girl in the world. Hannah, Hannah, most beautiful girl in the world." I sang that to her for that week. And then we went back, and the doctor was looking, and he said, "She's fine. There's nothing wrong with her." I knew that I was not going to abort her either way. That was not going to happen. And then they did another ultrasound, and they're poking around and they're being really quiet. And I'm like, I had already told the devil, "You're not taking my joy and you're not taking my baby. It's not happening. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it kills me. This child will be born." Honestly, I didn't care. And then she's poking around, and I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "Well, I can't find one of the kidneys." And I said, "She only needs one. Keep it moving." And then she said, "There it is." We went on, and I had no labor pains. I had a C-section by choice. I got up the next day. I did steps. I walked. I never stopped. I even fell out of a house when she was just a few months old. Had a huge hematoma on my hip that was unbelievable. I shouldn't have been able to walk, but God kept me moving. I want to encourage you moms out there that are being told that you have to abort your child and you're being forced and manhandled. It's not as much now probably after last year because it's not legal right now, thank God. Hold on. You have no idea what God has planned for you and that child. Our story is miraculous. She is a miracle. She sings beautifully. She has a beautiful heart. She's great in school. Her teachers love her. She's great at writing. She's a good artist. She does all these things. She's amazing. And she's a blessing. And I can't imagine my life without her. Just hold on. What you have growing inside of you is miraculous, no matter what anyone says. And God is good to have reversed Roe v. Wade, because it was Roe v. Wade being in place that they pushed me in the first place. I thank God that He reversed that. I'm so sorry if you disagree with me, but I am walking it out of what it meant to stand up against that system and fight. And even in a prophetic dream, that little girl that you just saw was fighting too. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you. Just get ready for this hope event of a hope after an abortion. There's a lot of people that need hope about this. With Beautifully Broken Counseling, we help you name the baby, write the baby a letter, and process that grief. We help you. You don't have to stay stuck in it. So I love you. I thank you. Give us a call at 615-332-4389. I'm Dr. Kathy. If you'd like to tell your story, I'd like to record it and give you a platform. If you'd like to be on the panel, we are working on the panel now. So thank you so much and have a great day. Oh, and look up Hope Events on our YouTube and check out the stories. Bye-bye.